I wanted to talk about this new MB-01 platform. It's a new chassis layout by Tamiya, and it's very, very versatile. It's really worth looking into. Let's take a deep dive. The compact two-wheel drive MB-01 chassis gives a choice of 3 types of wheelbase and front or rear wheel drive system. Without removing battery pack, motor, and RC equipment setups from center frame, simply change attachment directions of final gears and steering linkage to switch between front and rear wheel drive. Low or high motor positions can be chosen for rear wheel drive cars. The 4-wheel double wishbone suspension features symmetrical structure and friction dampers. So this chassis is available in 3 different wheelbases. We've got the short at 210 mil, the middle, which this one is 225 millimeters, and the long at 239 millimeters, depending on the body. And as you can see in the illustrations here, guys, it's really neat. For such a short wheelbase vehicle, it's really amazing how versatile this chassis is. I'm really intrigued by it. Looking forward to getting into this. To keep the price point low, this is again an entry-level kit. So this just comes with friction shocks, plastic bushings or nylon bushings. I don't believe it comes with a speed controller, so I did get one. We'll talk about that in a second. And you will also need to supply your own radio and steering servo and battery, of course. So with all that said, let's get this box cracked open and see what the MB-01 is all about. Yeah, not that cool yet. We'll get there. Ta-da! I don't know why I did that. I never unbox things that way. I don't know why I started that way today, but looks like that's what we're doing today. Let's start off with this body, guys. This is a really nice looking body. It's got some nice scale details to it, but it's not a high definition scale body. It is Lexan. You are going to have to cut this out and paint it yourself, apply all your decals and all that good stuff. I'm going to get started on this body today and get some paint on it. Just going to paint it straight white. But that is your body there. Nice looking Tamiya body. Speaking of the body, here are our decals. Not Decals, Phil. Not Decals, you silly Canadian. Beautiful Alfa Romeo decals with a very, very Italian livery. Looking awesome. So our instructions come in a couple of different formats. I'm glad they did this because, again, there are so many different configuration setups for this chassis. And this is my first time owning one of these chassis, so I'm definitely not an expert on this subject. But they've given us a separate chassis settings manual here because, again, you've got 3 different wheelbases and 3 different motor configurations. So there's a ton of versatility here. So this is going to require some paying attention to when building so you don't mess it up. So you've got that there. And then we've got, of course, the build manual right here, which is always amazing. Tamiya build manuals, second to none, simply the best, in my humble opinion. What else do we have here? Let's get some of this stuff opened up. We have got some plastic. So here are our friction shocks, tie downs for our batteries, and just some ball cup ends, and tennis straw. In here we have a gearbox, like a gearbox cover, I should say. Looks like we've got multiple option holes here for likely multiple pinion sizes. And again, I'm really unfamiliar with this chassis, so I'm shooting in the dark here, but it looks like we've just got some elements here for battery hold downs. Yeah, the gearbox cover there. So yeah, lots more plastic bits and bobs. What have we got here? And here we're getting into the softer plastics, which I'm really happy to see Tamiya use a combination of hard and soft. So we've got our body posts here, and looks like we've got our tiny little A-arms, upper and lower A-arms here. The tiniest little bumper you've ever seen. Ah, look at that little thing. What's that gonna do? Ah. Here we've got the big bag, oh goodies. Oh, look at this, guys. The tires rolled out. It is time for a tire sniff. Oh, not that strong today. More of a gentle morning mist type of a blend today. That's nice. Actually, a pretty decent rubber compound. We've got a stickier rubber compound on an Alfa Romeo than they do on their CC01, CC02 crawler tires. That's funny. But nice little tires there. We've got some nice plastic one-piece wheels here as well. Have a look at those bad boys. Looking good. What do we got in here, boys? Back to the hard ABS plastics. We've got our front Looks like our front uprights here and our rear uprights, some transmission housing pieces, our 12 mil hexes for our wheels. And speaking of wheels, all four are hexed, meaning that you could configure this to be a front wheel drive or rear wheel drive vehicle. I don't think there's an option for four wheel drive. I'm going to say that's the majority of our tiny little chassis there with maybe like an upper deck plate right there attached behind it. What else have we got going on here, guys? We've got our drive cups, front and rear, it looks like. Pretty beefy. Looks like possibly a TT02 size, like TT02B, like buggy size. Pretty substantial for such a small little kit. Look at that tiny little dog bone. Look at that little dog bone. That's a small little dog bone, Phil. Smallest dog bone I ever saw. Look at that little dog bone. That's hilarious. It's adorable. We've got some scale accessories for our body here, guys, which is nice. Again, not a super high definition scale body, but we've got some bits and pieces, a nice grille, integrated headlights. It looks like you're not going to be able to install LEDs in this, at least not with the way these are designed. Get your Dremel out, get creative. You can probably make something happen. Some chrome side mirrors there. Tray cool, tray cool. And then here we have our bag of goodies, where we have all of our screw bags. Don't call me a screw bag, A, B, C, screw bags. I'm always excited when I only see 3 bags. That means it's going to be, well, it should be a pretty painless build. We've got a bag full of gears and a bag full of servo saver bits and pieces. And it did come with a motor, the standard Mabuchi 540, which is about a 27 turn, which would actually probably be a pretty good starting point for this thing until you learn how to drive it, because this does have quite a short wheelbase still. It's a lightweight kit, so I'll probably start with this and then work my way up. Who am I kidding? I'm probably going to put something faster in. I should start with this. Why wouldn't I start with this? But I probably won't. We will see. Time will tell. So that's what you get in the kit. Now, I went ahead and I picked up this ESC, Dynamite Lipo Taser 10 turn. It was on sale at Eliminator Hobbies. By the way, I'll have links in the description box below for all of these things, along with a coupon code to save you some money when you go to pick this stuff up from Eliminator RC. But anyway, we've got this nice little ESC, which has a neat look to it. It's pretty chunky for what it is. It's actually got a pretty big footprint by today's standards. I like it. I like the look of it. I'm hoping it fits well in this chassis. If it doesn't, I'll go with something a bit smaller, like maybe a Hobbywing 1060. But this was on sale for 40 bucks Canadian. So a good price, and you know, something a little bit different than the 1060s that seem to be showing up everywhere these days. How nice would this be with a driver, like a cockpit inside and a couple drivers? Man, that'd be cool. Anyway, my imagination is already starting. So I'm going to get started on this build. I'm going to get this body cut out and cleaned up today, get it painted up, and then start putting this kit together. So if you guys have any questions about the Alfa Romeo Giulia Sprint GTA on the Tamiya MB-01 chassis, let me know in the comments below. Always happy to get back to each and every single one of you guys. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing and hitting that thumbs up button. Those 2 clicks mean the world to us YouTube content creators. It would certainly mean the world to me, and I really appreciate it. So that's it for me today, guys. Stay tuned for the build. Stay tuned for some running action when the weather's cooperative. And until next time, be excellent to each other.